Thank you for coming in. My name is Steve Garvin. I'm chair.
Stand by, please. Stand by. Mr. Camera down, please, sir.
We got one minute. Put everybody up here. Hang on. Sorry.
As I was saying, I'm Steve Garvin, chairman of the Board of Trustees at Penn State. This is John Sermon, vice chair of the Board of Trustees. I've asked, and the board has asked, John to head up all board activities on the current matters. And John has agreed to undertake this challenge with the full confidence of the board. I'm now going to turn over the press conference to John.
Thank you, Steve. Can everyone hear me? I'm going to make some comments and then we'll take your questions. The past several days have been absolutely terrible for the entire Penn State community. But the outrage that we feel is nothing compared to the physical and psychological suffering that allegedly took place. The Penn State Board of Trustees tonight decided that it is in the best interests of the university to have a change in leadership to deal with the difficult issues that we are facing. The Board of Trustees and Graham Spanier have decided that effective immediately, Dr. Spanier is no longer president of the university. In addition, Joe Paterno is no longer the head football coach, effective immediately. These decisions were made after careful deliberations and in the best interests of the university as a whole. Penn State has always strived for honesty, integrity, and the highest moral standards in all of our activities. We promise you that we are committed to restoring public trust to our university. Now, before we take your questions, I'd like to remind you that we do not yet know all the facts, and there are many details that have yet to be worked out. Steve and I will now be available to answer as many questions as we can.
Who will coach the team on Saturday?
With respect to coaching matters, I can tell you that the acting president, Rod Erickson, and our acting athletic director, Mark Sherborne, who is here, have appointed Tom Bradley as the interim head coach.
What is Mike McQuarrie's status as coach at Penn State?
There's really nothing that we can say about that at this point. There's no change in his status.
Sir, Dan Harris.
Sir, what was the driving reason behind the removal of Coach Paterno?
In consideration of all the facts and the difficulties that we are encountering during this time, it was the trustees' view that it was in the best interest, long-term interest of the university to make that change.
Sir,
What did you learn in the last few days that you didn't already know?
I can only answer one at a time.
Now, what did you learn in the last couple of days that you didn't already know that caused you to make this decision today instead of a week ago? Some of this information has been out there for a while.
The board deliberative process is, as it implies, a process that requires some time. There was information that we sought, although we don't know anything more about the actual details than the grand jury report and whatever you all write. We were working through the not entirely consistent processes of wanting to act swiftly and decisively, but also to be thorough and fair.
Sure.
And that resulted in these actions.
Sir, given the popularity of Coach Paterno on this campus, how difficult a decision was this for you and your colleagues to make?
Well, these decisions are never easy in any walk of life, and this one, for many reasons, including those we described, was difficult, but again, in the unanimous view of the trustees, was necessary for the long-term interest of the university.
Did you take any students into account?
Coming to this school as president, can you confirm or deny those?
I have no basis to comment on that report, which I guess we found imaginative, but not anything we can comment on.
Did you take any students' opinions into account?
I can only go by.
Did you take any students' opinions into account?
As I mentioned, Rod Erickson, our distinguished provost has agreed to act as interim president of the university effective.
What was Coach Paterno's reaction to your call?
Paterno, in the board's mind, should Coach Paterno have alerted the police when he first learned of the sexual abuse allegations in 2002?
I don't know that I can characterize the board's view on specific determinations like that. Our view was a larger view of what was necessary to move the university in the right direction. The specific aspects of these terrible activities that occurred and the terrible damage that was done really remains to be established by whatever law enforcement investigations are yet underway, as well as the investigation by our own Board of Trustees Special Committee that we announced recently and provide more details on Friday.
What was Coach Paterno's reaction to his termination?
It's really premature for us to comment on because we don't know what the actual facts and circumstances were. As I said, we've read the grand jury report, as I'm sure all of you have, and beyond that, there's very little information that's available beyond that, and we have to await the completion of multiple investigations.
When did you inform Mr. Paterno and how did you find out?
One at a time.
When did you tell Mr. Paterno?
I think that's more or less the same question. We made that notification earlier this evening.
What was his reaction?
That's a private discussion I'd rather not characterize. We made the notification, and that's really all we can say.
Did you put it in person or over the phone?
I'd rather not characterize that either. I think we made a notification that we thought was necessary.
You let a man go that's been here for 46 years, and you won't tell us whether you told him over the phone or in person?
We did have a phone conversation. We were not able to find a way to get to do that in person without causing, we thought, a greater distraction, and that was the conclusion that we made.
You didn't feel you owed him the courtesy to go to his house or talk to him in person?
After 60
There's
years?
really nothing we can comment on that. We did things we thought was best.
What's your reasoning for dismissing Coach Paterno now and leaving Tim Curley in administrative leave?
There's a number of matters that the board has to address during the course of the week. I'm not saying those are them, but there's a number of matters that over time will get resolved and dealt with.
Will Joe's son Jay still be on staff?
There's no change there at the moment. What happens in the long term is a different question.
What about Mike McCreary?
As I said, we're not aware of any change in his status, and there's really no more comment we can make on that personnel matter.
John,
Was it a unanimous decision by the board?
Get a chance to say goodbye to Coach Paterno for this final home game at very least. What do you say to the students?
Well, I don't really want to get into what individuals think or not think. I would hope that our students, and we would hope that everyone who cares about Penn State, our 95,000 students, hundreds of thousands of alumni, with thousands of degrees which get awarded each year, our outreach for agriculture in every county of the Commonwealth. I would hope that everyone would agree that what we're doing is what we believe in our best judgment is in the best long-term interest of the university, which is much larger than athletic programs.
What do you say to people who think you're making him the fall guy for this?
Well, I think people can believe what they wish, but I think the facts come out in the long term, and we don't have them all here in front of us. And no doubt the additional facts was shed light on things. I know they do.
When you say there's going to be a full investigation, at the same time, what can you say to those who argue that this is a rush to judgment? There has not been a full investigation. How can you reach this conclusion at this time?
As I said, these are judgments and decisions and balances that boards have to make with thoughtful deliberation. In our view, things have reached a point where change was necessary, and we thought it was best to belong to the university.
What's the larger message about how Penn State responds to
I am just briefly aware of the matter that you just described, and have no information on it, no real knowledge of it. If there's another investigation by the health authority, of course, the university will cooperate in every means possible, and beyond that, we have no knowledge of it. And I think as we indicated in our statement yesterday, we intend to be as responsible as we can and make whatever changes are necessary to ensure that we have the highest standard of conduct.
Has Coach Paterno been told he can go to the game on Saturday or can stay away?
We did not discuss that matter.
We've talked to a lot of students over the past 2 days. What are you going to say to those who think that the university, the board of trustees, has handled this matter poorly?
Well, we handled it the best way we could.